Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Gee, what day is it? Thursday. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing? I I got lost listening to a raging banshee. The first person who can guess in the chat who that banshee was. My God, this woman is nuts. I never, well, I have, okay. But not since being like a young adult have I seen somebody connect everything to an ex lover the way this person does. It is miraculous. It's like she could be on a whole rant about Chinese food and then just bring this person out of nowhere. And it's like, what are you doing? Go get therapy. It's actually kind of sad. But yeah, she's on a whole rampage, and I just had to tune in for a minute, hear what we could hear, and same old, same old. Did anybody happen to catch Seth and Tony last night? It was also a little concerning. Hey, Peachy. One step closer. What the croc? Freeside. Trish. Angel. Jay, good morning. I see everything. Day Tripper. Arctic Fox, good to see you. Lori. Jolie's crafting. Hey, Charles. Hey, Froggy. You missed it, Mel Mel? Or Mel Mel, sorry, Mello. I said cease. Yeah. And it's funny because Seth Rogers did say cease, and now he's talking about how nobody's helping him. Well, hello, sir. Hey, Stacy. One Red Rose, KNS, not that Nina. It was weird. He did you notice they didn't keep him on the screen very long? Like bare minimum. Hey, Luna. Good. Well, you'll all be seeing it here with me today. Don't have headphones. I thought they're going to try to listen. Okay, I won't curse or say anything bad, Jax. I hope everything's okay. Hey, Butterfly. Oh, be careful traveling. That sounds exciting. Kells Bells. I wonder why. Hello, Winnie. Rainbow Bee. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this up, but I have a few things to pull up. There is a particular lady that is claiming to be in contact with with Chris Proudfoot. And I'm gonna play that. She is. Nobody guessed who it was. You're first, Bonbon. You won. Hey, Wanda. Morning, Kelly. Jay, listen, I want to see if anybody else notices. The first thing I noticed was actually sad. First off, comments are not going for it. They're kind of like, get out of here. Um, but look at this.
Spokesperson Tony Mathis. Thank you to the both of you. And Seth, I'm really so sorry that.
So to start, at first I felt really bad. Hey, Al, I felt really bad. I'm like, look at Seth, right? And then I was like, you know what? Oh, a serial killer on the loose here in Arkansas. Oh my goodness. I chased down Danilo Cavalcante. That was fun and scary. Hey, Billy. I was cracking up too. I almost forgot that it was time for me to go live. I was so into it. I'm like, whoa. Does she realize she's screaming at us? Listen, I'm a loud talker too, but Betty like screams and screeches. I was just watching yours, Jay. Hey, Roddy. This was last night. So yeah, they're both going incognito. Tony's growing out this rough looking beard. Tony looks like he's lost weight, and Seth Rogers looks like he's gained weight. Thank you so much, Roddy. I seen your comments saying that, straight talker. But if you look closely, you'll notice that with Seth, his one eye is nearly shut. Now listen, people aren't gonna like when I say next, but that happens a lot with drug addicts, where their one eye is like, I don't know the technical word for it. It's just an actual thing. Don't believe me, look it up. And that is what I noticed throughout with Seth, Seth is one eye. It does. It looks like he forced himself to cry a lot before he came on the screen. And again, Tony has lost weight. Seth has gained weight. The whole thing was cringe, is right. It was actually sad. Good morning, Jesse. And at first I felt a little bad for him. Then I was like, you know what? I can't. Looking like Hansel and Squidward with a beard. Stop it. Goofy Goober. Ah. I don't know if I find it hard to have empathy for Cephas. I know. That's right, girl next door. Get him. Thank you. All right, so let's proceed. Crying while laid down on the side will cause eye swelling. I don't think that he has the capability to lay on his side, to be honest. Hey, Freezer Bert. All right, well, that's a stupid thing to say. I don't see him laying on his side crying. I don't know. That is a new necklace. He is suddenly religious.
You know, here we are having this conversation with News Nation again about your son, Sebastian, and it's been all these months. Do you have any updates? Have you heard anything, any leads, anything at all from the...
So I like how she starts off with, and I know I'm going to try not to pause so often because I have a lot to say. So I'm blind reacting most of this with you. I caught the first few seconds through the video Jay uploaded and I exited out. I wanted to blind react. I didn't want to hear everything in advance. So I looked at comments and exit out. But hey, Granny Bass, people do those actions for other reasons, such as medical reasons. Yeah, that's true. That, I mean, built for the BS, that is true. It does happen because of medical reasons as well. But I noticed you said we're here to talk about your son, Sebastian, and I'm just hoping in advance that this is one time where Seth Rogers uses the airway to speak about his son and not his hate against his ex-wife, not himself, but his son. We need to hear more about his son. Good morning, Forever Army, Emmy Joe and Joe Madre.
Police?
No, ma'am, I haven't. Every lead that I do come across, I have my private investigators searching into it.
Private investigator? Hold up, private investigator. Does Seth Rogers have another private investigator? We know that he fired the two he had, Heather and Chloe, so he has a new investigator. That is very interesting. Well, he definitely don't have... I don't know. I watched this last night, then rewatched Behavioral Panel Profiles. The indicators that they were looking for were interesting after watching this interview. I wish somebody would do that with Seth. I've been saying that for a long time, BG, and I know you have as well. Investigators, plural. He did say plural, huh? Hey, peace and happiness. I couldn't wait to hear your opinion. Thank you. Hey, Rebel. Salem, good morning. Don't tell me it's Betty. Oh, if it's Betty, Lord have mercy. Betty can't find her way out of rejection. Lord. Look at Banfield's face every time she looks at Tony. She's 100% seen his peen. Oh, my goodness. Look, everybody's saying it. I hope not. Green peens off. I hope he did. Before when he had them, or was he talking about before when he had them? Let's play it back and see. Good morning, sweetie cake. Let's see.
No, ma'am, I haven't. Every lead that I do come across, I have my private investigators searching into it.
No, that sounds like current time. Every lead that I do come across, it sounds like he's talking in present tense.
And have they come up with anything? Have they been helpful?
Well, we've had pictures and stuff come in. My private investigators track it down. And then we find out that it's just another rabbit hole.
All right, so would it be a rabbit hole? It wouldn't be a rabbit hole. It'd be a false lead. Again, I think Seth Rogers has found himself on YouTube too much and too long that he has picked up the lingo and has almost forgotten that this is like actually his missing child. It wouldn't be a rabbit hole. Why is Tony even there? Good question. It was a bash fest with zero regard for reality. That's how it always is. It's how it always is over there. She's such a joke. So this is interesting. Right, like when pictures come in, how many pictures has he received? How many PIs does he have? When did he get the PIs? There's a lot of questions that, as an interviewer, she could have asked that he elaborate on, but she didn't.
Sumner County, I give them all the tips that I get.
I give them all the tips that I give. And then he says, get. That's a lovely photo, Sebastian. I like that picture.
Give them all the tips that I get. Just not really.
And so when you give them the tips that you come up with your private investigators, are they thankful? Do they indicate to you that this is helpful? Do you have a good relationship with the police? Do you feel like they're on your side, that they're working hard?
It's a good question. And CBC, I get that, but this isn't something I've ever noticed in Seth before. It's just this one time. Was that a slip? That I mean, that's what I'm saying. I kind of heard that as a slip. Like when I give tips, I mean, it was yeah. I don't trust them.
That's what they're conveying to me.
They don't have Tony on the
But
screen.
I
at the
can't
same point
imagine
in
how
time,
hard this must be.
I'm not seeing my son's not here. This is my first Father's Day. And what made me a father is not here.
This is my first Father's Day, and what made me a father is not here. That's a weird comment. Because again, that correlates around Seth and what was Seth. It's not about Sebastian. Sebastian's not in the forefront. He is. Just the way it was phrased. Right. Is what they're conveying to me. The thing that made me a father's not here. It seems less about Sebastian, more about him, which, come on, to be fair, I knew that going in that he'd make it all about him. He always seems to. What about all the tiny Tony's contacts? Yeah, what about him? He claims he has all these big contacts. It is weird. It is weird. It's once again about him. Strange phrasing. Called him Bub too, like Katie calls him Bubba. Seth is most important again.
I'm so sorry. I am just so sorry.
Looks like he's on the
If
brink.
there's, anything we can do, we'll keep the story,
How much I will say that this man looks like he's on the brink, and it's actually really scary. If I was Katie, I'd be concerned. He does not look like he's doing well in many ways. Hey, Wa. Hey, Deborah. Again, he's gained weight. He just looks like he's kind of out of it. He doesn't appear okay. And I do feel a little bad for him right now. I mean, he's kind of made it this way though. You gotta remember he made it this way. He spent 4 months giddy, happy, on panels, trashing Katie, trashing Chris, making inappropriate jokes, and the tides have turned on him, and now he looks like a train wreck.
in the news. What's so bizarre is that
We have no updated pictures.
Katie and Chris
Hey,
packed up
Christina.
and left that home. Are you
What?
and Chris packed up and left that home? Are you in contact with them at all? I
Seth's breathing's a little bit heavy. Katie and Chris packed up and left that home. Are you late is she okay? Where have you been, Banfield? They left that. They're in that home currently, ma'am. But they up and left. Like, of course, because you know what? Seth has set the tone that if you have him on panel, he will absolutely go at Katie and Chris. And they know that. They know that. So there she is, opening the doorway for him. Hey, give me some of the drama. Drama sells. You know what I mean? And for the moderator of Betty's to post a photo of what is alleged to be Katie and Faith, you're a dirtball. You're a dirtball. You are endangering that child. You sit on a channel like hers that is over there. It had to be recent because they mentioned Father's Day. That is over there saying the reason Sebastian had disabilities is because Katie was an alcoholic while pregnant. She has straight up said Katie has unalived Sebastian. And then you're going to send everybody a current photo of what a little girl looks like and let them know that she is in that home. What is wrong with you? Ugh.
I know originally they weren't talking to you at all. They weren't sharing information, which also seemed bizarre to me. Even if a split up is acrimonious, you still have this shared goal, right? To find your boy. Has it gotten any better between you and Katie in terms of sharing info?
It doesn't feel like a shared goal. It sure doesn't feel like a shared goal.
Wow.
It feels like it's only my goal and all of Sebastian's army. It's their goal. It's my goal.
I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I think this guy's on substances. I do. And listen, could I say I blame him if he were? No. But I definitely think that Seth is doing this interview while under some type of substance. So Betty's moderator, the same one that makes the shirts team foul play, because we want to all be team foul play, right? Like, who the hell is team foul play? If you were somebody who would say, I'm team foul play, please don't be in this chat. I mean, we're talking about a 15-year-old child, and they're selling shirts of team foul play. Anyway, she's the one that posted the photo that's supposed to be Katie with Chris's daughter. You agree he's on something? So do I. Okay. I mean, I'm telling you, just look at him.
It doesn't feel like a shared goal.
Wow.
It feels like it's only my goal and all of Sebastian's army. It's their goal.
What about all the people you told not to make it their goal? What about all the cease and desist you sent out? Is anybody going to talk about that? Are they going to mention that? Actually, someone said it was Oxy, not Perks. I don't know what the hell he's on. I have no idea. But I do know that he appears, I don't know if he is, he appears to be. But he's saying, like, it's not a shared goal. He chased everybody away. He just got back from hanging out with the Stones at Woodstock. Yeah, Nora, unfortunately, I think you're correct. He usually is medicated, not just for anxiety, painkillers probably. I mean, the way the one eye droops says, like, heavy narcotics sometimes happens when you're on Xanax, but it's usually, yeah. Again, I don't know. I'm just assuming. Off being presented to me, I have a life to live, and it needs to be my life. First podcast is Drama Life. I like a lot of them. Members, money, support. I don't know what you're saying there, but good job. Do whatever you have to do to keep yourself happy. Hey, Roxy. What got me, where'd that go? When I heard this was he expressed no fear of what was happened or is happening to Sebastian. That's right.
It's
Not
my
asking the
goal
right questions.
to find Sebastian. But as for contact between me and the Proudfoots, there has been no contact.
I wonder why.
Still nothing.
Look, he's like the poor grieving father, right? Like, there's been no contact. I wouldn't have contact with you. How many of you in the chat would have contact with Seth Rogers if you were Katie or Chris? I'm sorry, I wouldn't. You like my painting on the wall? Thank you. Is it true Seth didn't see Sebastian hardly ever? Well, yeah, because at that point he was. Wait, would it have been that point? There was a point where Seth was trying to get his life together and he wasn't very present. Matter of fact, he says it himself. He says when Sebastian found out that Seth knew what Sebastian had experienced as a child in California, which I won't bring up again, but he said when he found out he knew, he said, I knew, son. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. So while Steph's out here telling everybody what took place with Sebastian and claiming he never got help, don't forget, Seth Rogers wasn't even there for him. Not emotionally, not physically. He knew what his son experienced, and he was busy working on himself, he said. Daddy of the year.
It's like I'm the only one that misses my son.
Yeah, you're the only one, Seth.
You know, let me ask you, Tony, if you can jump in here. I know that you and Seth asked for.
Here's your big moment, Tony. Tony looks like a turkey. Tony got scared. Look when the camera goes back to Tony again. This is another beautiful photo of Sebastian.
Tony, if you can jump in here. I know that you and Seth.
Look, Seth realizes the camera's big on him, so he's like, takes a deep breath. I mean, he does look horrible. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Seth looks concerning. I think he does. He never had him until recently, so this is really crazy. I forgot it was that long, Granny. My gosh, this is more insane than I can stomach. Yeah. That's why when he first came out here and he was on this big pedestal, I couldn't stand it. He's not very present. Seems like he has come to a realization that the genuine people that had his back and showed him grace have walked away from him. He's surrounded by only vultures now. I don't know if he's realized that yet. I don't think he takes any accountability for where he's at. A lot of ones in the chat is actually sad. I mean, I don't have to like the guy to be empathetic towards him, and I am. I'm empathetic towards him right now. This guy looks like he's on the brink. He does, Jane, appear to be under a substance as well. What is this necklace?
Asked for
Hold on.
jump in
Let's see when
here.
Tony
I know
comes in.
that you and Seth asked for the FBI to engage, take over.
Tony looks like a skeleton. And he's just weird. You're just weird, Tony.
Become a part of the case. Where has that gone, if anywhere?
Well, as you well know, Ashley, it's only going to go somewhere if the Sumner County asks.
Are these two okay? Look, I'm not trying to be rude, but this is like a really weird interview. Just look at it. Look how Tony's looking. Now look at Seth over here. And you got, what is going on? They're just bizarre. Like the one commenter said, I'm sorry, these guys give me the creeps. And I get it. That there's something creepy here. The vibe's off. It is weird. I'm not familiar with religion, if it is or not. But we do know that he recently became religious. All right, so Tony gulps, does a big gulp. Seth looks down.
Well, as you well know, Ashley, it's only going to go somewhere if the Sumner County asks.
He's definitely on drugs. I'm sorry. Just look what he just did right there. It's just my opinion is. And listen, I'm a former addict. I'm in recovery. We can usually spot these type of things. I just feel like he's heavily under a substance.
Asks for them to take the case over.
And I don't blame
And
him.
kind of where we're at and where I've been all along is I just want them to answer one simple question for Seth. And I feel like that he deserves an answer to this question. Are they closer today than they were February 26th? And if the answer to that is no, or we can't get an answer, then I think it's only logical that the case be elevated.
All right. So Tony's trying to hide himself. Tony might as well put on one of those glasses with like the big nose and the mustache, because that's what it looks like right about now. You're not doing very well, Tony. We all saw your baloney. Also, they keep saying about having FBI come in. FBI was already in. Maybe if you as his PR man told him to stop speaking and repeating what the police are saying, he'd be more included in everything. Now, does anybody recall when Seth was over on Betty's, right? He said that he was kicked out of the command center for looking at their devices. Hey, Sherm, good morning. He's reading a text that tell him what to focus on. Pre-plans, maybe, yeah. Never question a former addict catching clues, and others suffer an addiction because they are most always correct and catch things majority of us don't. Listen, I can't say I would blame him, to be honest, Genevieve, because if I were in his position, I don't know what type of place I'd be in. Hey, time traveler.
Yeah, it seems, I mean, what are we? I think 114 days. I understand that investigators can't always share everything, but do you feel, Tony, that at least they have been, I don't know, optimistic or helpful or hopeful, or at least?
I like how they, at the same time that she's saying all this to Tony, the guy that sits on TikTok 24/7, they go ahead and show all the work the police have done. She blocked me, and I'm so glad she did, because I still type to her like she can see me. I can't wait till she has a call in so I can call in, Annie. But at the same time, like, look how much they did do, right? Look at it. What more could you want from them?
Everything. But do you feel, Tony, that at least they have been, I don't know, optimistic or helpful or hopeful, or at least been keeping Seth up to speed on what they're doing?
I think that we feel like that the communication could always be better. And, you know, let's put you or I as a parent in Seth's shoes. If they can't give you an answer to the question, are you any further along today than you were 114 days ago?
Tony got his hands on what he believes to be a professional question, so he's going to keep asking again and again and again and again and again. This is the woman who went on national TV and told the world a homeless man stole Riley's strange shirt, which was BS. Bomber girl, you're right. So I didn't even really listen to what he said again, because I just tuned him out at this point. Is this the lady that hinged the investigation? Remember the lady on the horse? Is that her? That turned out she wasn't allowed to even search.
You or I as a parent in
There
Seth's
he goes with the shoulder.
could always be better.
Can't be one interview without the shoulder.
better. And, let's put you or I as a parent in Seth's shoes. If they can't give you an answer to the question, are you any further along today than you were 114 days ago? I mean, as a parent, are you not terrified to hear that?
What are you looking at, Tony? Are you okay? If Tony would just be quiet, I agree. 2023. Granny, after Tony M's peanut gate, I thought he was out. He is still involved. I can't stand him. He's ruined this case. He has, Emilio. He has made an absolute joke. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You're right. My honest opinion, all three of the so-called parents have acted guilty. I kind of agree with you there, and I'm actually going to play something right after this. There's very bizarre things happening here. I just would not be surprised. Listen, I'm going to do a members only with you guys later where I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. I don't think it's meant for the public. I know people are going to tear it apart. We're going to do a members only. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I personally think took place here. It's just my personal opinion. I already did, Genevieve. I covered Ricada. His CPS reports just came out. His one child came back positive with drugs in his system. How horrible is that? He looks really bloated and pasty. I'm a nurse. He has a walking heart attack waiting to happen. Is that what it is, Heather? He does look very unwell. I will say that.
I can't imagine it. Seth, if
What is up with everybody's eyes? Are they like, is it just me or do their eyes look weird? Besides Banfield, she always looks weird. Don't pay her any mind. But as far as like, Seth looks like he's ready to hurt somebody. And Tony, why is Tony's one eye? Like, what is going on? Are they both under some type of substance? Is it the lights? Is it did he also traumatize himself when he flashed the peen? I know for a little bit there, my own eyes were a little messed up. It was like, what the was that? Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you. The timeline works for Seth that Katie put forward. Seth works nice. They're all looking down at their iPhones. Well, his one eye's being like particularly weird, but okay.
Sebastian can hear you if he's out there. What's your message for him?
Maybe he just has a lazy eye. I don't know.
Same as it's always been. I need you to get away from whoever you're near.
I think this is important, so I'm going to rewind it and shut up, and we're going to listen. If you have a message for your son, what would it be?
I need you to get away from whoever it's always
Out there, what's your message for him?
See, I feel like Seth does this fake cry thing. I'm sorry. I feel like every time Seth finds himself in a sticky position, he comes out with this like sobbing Hallmark type of attitude. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but this doesn't feel very genuine to me.
For him.
Same as it's always been. I need you to get away from whoever you're near. Get to a phone. My phone is still on, son. The same phone number. Everything. I need you to call me. I need you to call 911. I need you to tell who you are. That you need to tell them that you are wanted.
I need you to get away from whoever you're around, son. And then he says, I need you to tell them that you are wanted. It's just odd. Christine, 26 months. Love you, girl. Thank you. He said he's taking muscle relaxers, probably benzo for stress. Possibly. It does seem there is a substance happening. Hey, CB, welcome. Thank you so much for becoming a member. He whines. Everything is about him, not Sebastian. I agree. Seth admitted most baths ago that he's on pain pills and muscle relaxers for his shoulder. Yeah. It is very much me, half sour. I just found it interesting. He said you need to get away. Sorry, Seth, but it's 113 days. Too long for that. I keep saying that, Revival. Can we all start blowing up their comment section and or contact information and ask them to please analyze these interviews? I would love that. Well, Jane, that's a hell of a mixture. Did he actually name those as his prescriptions? Lord, we don't need to know his prescriptions. There's something going on. There's something. Direct current. I feel for Seth, but he has made and allowed so many mistakes that it's hard to support him. He has that sinister PR next to him as a shadow. I agree. He single-handedly ruined this. Tell them you're one of the sound. Oh, let me rewind.
I need you to call me. I need you to call 911. I need you to tell who you are. That you need to tell them that you are wanted.
That you are wanted.
I need you home.
There's a weird snort, but there's no tear. Ah.
I need to know you're safe.
Look at all these beautiful people that
I
showed
need
up.
you, buddy.
You know, can I pause for a moment and point out there's like this big mockery going on. Even Jennifer Coffendorfer was asked about T-Rev buying the hot dogs. Now, T-Rev said they were Ballpark, right? Ballpark is a name brand. I wouldn't care, though, if he bought the Great Value brand of hot dogs. The fact of the matter is there are people that have done what they can do to help. And T-Rev supplied the hot dogs, which was a kind thing of him. I don't even know why that became like a mockery. I don't know. I mean, Tony supplied us all with his hot dog, and we sure as hell didn't want that.
You've always been my buddy, and you will
Stay
always
strong.
be my brother.
Wait.
Stay strong, Seth.
Rewind
Buddy,
that.
and you need you, buddy. You've always been my buddy, and you will
Stay
always be
strong.
my brother.
He's always been my buddy, and he will always be my buddy. Is it true that Seth was trying to get girls to talk to Sebastian? Apparently, he shared a story about the waitress, about at least one girl. He is, right? Half sour? He is, okay. That's my opinion as well. Yeah, so you've always been my brother. Buddy, I think he says buddy. Let me rewind it.
You've always been my buddy, and you will
Stay
always
strong.
be my brother.
You've always been my buddy, and you will always be my brother. You've always been my buddy, and you will always be my brother. Let's throw up at TikTok. Can you imagine being the FBI guy that gets that report? The people on internet did an overlay. They did a fantastic overlay. That damn Jay for Justice did it. I'll tell you, she did a great overlay. It was so stupid. Yeah, my brother. He says buddy, then he says brother. Right? Let's rewind a little bit further. CC.
I need you, buddy. You've always been my buddy, and you will
Stay
always
strong.
be my brother.
Stay strong, Seth. We got you.
She interrupts, but he does say, you've always been my buddy, you'll always be my brother. And then, but there's no actual tears. But I do feel like he's sad. It's weird. I feel like maybe it's the substance or preventing the actual tears from coming through, that he is on something because something's not right. Yeah. My professional addict opinion is that's pathetic, but true. Seth looks like he's going to have a stroke. He does. He does. I would be as well. And if I was the Proudfoot, I'd be worried. We know that allegedly he came. Well, no, it's not alleged anymore because he confirmed it. We know that he was asking a creator to buy him a pew pew under the, under the table type of thing. He has a lot of built up anger and animosity, and he does look like he's on the brink. It's sad. No matter what, he's a father who lost his kid. The other parents, I don't know. That's just weird. See, I feel like he's just as weird. I feel like they're all a little weird.
You're back here. We're going to keep the story on the air. Somebody knows something, and there's going to be a lead that turns up. In the meantime, we do want people to know, Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis, thank you for this. We do want people to know that if.
Let me pause really quick. So cervical herniation is very painful. It's nerve pain going down his arm. I had to keep my arms elevated on pillows. I couldn't stand my arms below my shoulders. I'm sorry to hear that, Nana. That does sound very painful. My question is, though, why did it take, after his son went missing and he raised all these funds, why did his shoulder start hurting then? And if it is a pre-existing injury, which we know it is, from back when they filed for the DVRO and we're going through the divorce, why is this such an issue now, such a prominent issue now? Has he not had anything done to fix it? Has he not done physical therapy, the pain medications, any surgeries? he's lifted his arm just fine there. And then, if this arm injury, this shoulder injury has been so long lasting, how was he able to do all the fatherly things, the picking up of his son, the whole, it's a little weird to buy the gun because Seth knows how much money he was getting. That's what he claims. For whatever reason, this is a guy that claims that he is a sheriff. He claims that he is law enforcement, and he's asking somebody to purchase him a gun, and that's illegal. So I don't know. He's had it for years. How do you endure training and become a CO 18 months ago if it's always been this bad? Right. There's something weird here. If you're on it, but gabapentin is the devil. It's a lot of weird. Right. Right. Does it interfere with him being a correction officer? How did he pass the training? There's a lot of weird things here.
If you have any information on the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers, please call the Sumner County Sheriff at 615-451-3838. Again, take a picture of your screen. I always say it's 615-451.
If you see anything, listen, I know a lot of people are saying, if you have any tips, send it to them. Don't send tips to Tony. Don't send tips to Seth. Who is Seth's PI? I think we need to know who his PI is if he wants people to send tips to them. Although I don't think you should. You should only send tips to law enforcement and the number on the screen. Self-medicating with severe mental health conditions are dangerous. Well, yeah, most addicts have underlying mental health issues, unfortunately. Well, let's talk about that treat squirrel. Treat squirrel says, is this for real? We are bashing a man in a prior injury. My life has been chronic and excruciating pain, but I've still gone about my life doing things on a normal day is never be able to do. Well, here's the thing, treat squirrel. If you came out here and you made a GoFundMe and asked the world to supply enough money for you to spend your entire days searching for your child, and after that fund was met, you then turned around and said, I can't now look for my son because of my shoulder, I think a lot of people would be side-eyeing you. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Seth tripped and re-injured his shoulder. Is that why he asked JLR to make sure he gets his shoulder wrapped up really tight on the camera? I disagree. He said his shoulder. So would your shoulder stop you from looking for your child? His shoulder has hurt from like 1992, respectfully. I just feel like it is a little melodramatic, if you will. Seth was fine until he wasn't while looking for his son. I don't even recall him ever really looking for his son. But I do hope your pain gets better, treat squirrel. I couldn't imagine. Actually, I could imagine because I have similar with my back and my neck from a car accident. It was horrible. And there are times where my neck is so bad I can barely move. So I get it. But I don't think any shoulder injury would ever stop me from looking for my child because his legs still work, right? So anyway, I came across, he's not searching. You tell me the last time you saw him search. Would you like a link? I wouldn't mind speaking with you. It might be easier to communicate. But he's not searching. With utmost respect, nobody can even tell me the last time Seth Rogers was out there searching because he's just not. So I did come across this interview that I never saw before. And then I have one more other thing to show all of you of a lady that claims that she is in contact with Chris Proudfoot and, of course, revealing that information. Right. Chronic pain sucks, but his legs aren't working. You take if the guy's pain was that bad, he'd be on disability. He's not. If his pain is that bad, he shouldn't be a security guard. I mean, the inmates will overrun him. I mean, they'll outrun him anyway. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of like CEOs and police officers and everybody being like out of shape. I'm just tired of it. But yeah, so between him being out of shape, overweight, now he has this shoulder injury that prevents him from even walking. What is he doing? Guarding the the criminals. They could knock him over like a rolling pin. It's crazy. Yes, we are. I've had 8 spine surgeries, total neck replacement, and I'm in pain daily, but I don't like, oh gosh, I couldn't even imagine. Hey, Truth. So I came across this interview that I've never seen before. I don't know, maybe you guys have. I wish there was a way to get these stupid alerts off, but check this out. What do you guys think? Wait, where's the sound?
To find a missing Tennessee teenager. During the early morning hours of February 26, 2024, 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. That's about 20 miles north of Nashville. He's not been seen or heard from since.
You know what I saw the other day that really made me angry? I saw that apparently Nina has told people that nobody bully Treed. Let just give her our sympathies and let her carry on. That Nina told people that Chris and Katie rarely took photos of of Sebastian because he was goofy looking. This is what Nina said. Nina, the woman who never spoke about her children on social media prior to Sebastian disappearing, had the nerve to say that Katie and Chris didn't take pictures of him because he was goofy looking. What kind of ass backwards shit is that? That it is such an ignorant statement to make. Okay? Who is she? Is that how she views him? As goofy looking? I've seen plenty of pictures. I've seen plenty of videos. I've seen plenty of things to say that she's a liar. And you know what? The whole thing of looking at Nina doesn't look so wrong anymore if you really look at it. Something's weird with that lady, too. They're all weird.
And Sebastian is now the subject of an Amber Alert. Joining us now is Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot. Katie, thanks for being with us under what must be very difficult circumstances. First of all, how are you and your family holding up?
Yep, saying he didn't look normal. So I never saw this. I've never seen this interview. I don't know how I've never seen this interview, but I've never seen it. So here we are. I have to bribe my kids for photos. And if I want to smile, forget about it. But yeah, to claim, how would she know? She knows nothing. Who is she? Who are you? Nothing. Nobody. Exactly what she is, Misty. Exactly what she is. So Chris abused her and kidnapped their kid, but they talk enough for her to know their photography habits of their other kid. Yes, good point. No. And a little bit of pictures don't mean you don't love somebody. Some kids don't like photos. Some kids do. Some people like to live in the moment. But I will say that poor baby, the 8-month-old baby that only had 1 or 2 photos taken her entire 8 months. Oh my goodness. Now that is a sign. Oh, thank you, Jose. Maybe.
I would say that this isn't a tragedy that we would wish anyone to ever experience. We're keeping our faith and we're praying every day that we're going to find Sebastian.
What's the latest on the search?
So law enforcement is exploring any and all possibilities. They're communicating daily with us about updates and the statuses. We have faith that all the law enforcement agencies involved are doing everything that they can, and we're going to find Sebastian and bring him home.
So that was plenty of photos just went across the screen. It seems like the only photos we get from Seth are photos of Sebastian as a child. I don't think Nina would know anything at all.
We know the most important thing right now is to get the word out about Sebastian. What would you like our viewers to know about your son?
Sebastian, he is high functioning autistic. He loves animals. He loves video games. He loves fishing.
Look how cute that is. That's something my son would do. He'd like a little goofball. I'll never forget the one time my son said, "Mom, the milk's bad." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You got to come look. The milk's bad." So I go and look, and he drew like the angry face on the milk carton. Oh my gosh, so cute. Such a little goofster. But that's what Sebastian seems like. He was a little
So goofy.
a little
He's
silly.
typically a very, very
Look how cute that was. I can't get over it.
green tea.
You're so goofy.
Green tea. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Green tea.
You're so goofy.
He's typically a very, very
No, listen, that's a happy kid. You know what I mean? That is just such a happy kid. No, she said that Steph said he looks goofy in pictures. Oh, I saw it the other way. All right, Jennifer, I hope you have a good day. Have you seen our weather? Yes. We were at the Phillies game yesterday, and we were basically baking in the sun.
very sweet boy. He can be quite temperamental, though, if he's overstimulated or if he's stressed out. He has a unique run. He runs like the Naruto anime character. When he's excited, he likes to dab, and he loves music. He loves to dance.
That's all very helpful information. Now, if Sebastian is out there watching, what would you like to say to your son?
I would say, Bubba, we love you. We all love you so much. Wherever you are, just know that we are not going to stop. We're going to keep searching. We're going to find you. We're going to bring you home. And if you ever get an opportunity, find a phone, find a safe adult, call 911. But I'd also like to ask our community to please keep searching your properties. Keep sharing his flyer. If you know something or you see something, please.
People always say they've never seen Katie cry. This was a natural cry. This was natural. This came from the heart. You see the tears. You could hear her starting to choke up. This is what you expect. Disparaging. I think this was a very lovely.
Say something. Call the law enforcement immediately.
We're going to do everything we can to help find him.
Thank you.
Ugh. Breaks my heart. This is Katie just chilling, huh? What did one step say? How does she love her son? And she's the one who made him disappear. She made him disappear. So I don't know if you guys know this, but even the PIs have stated that they believe that Sebastian left on his own. Chloe, who is not a fan of the Proudfoots by any means, even she has stated that after her research and looking into everything, she believes that Sebastian left the house on his own, that he ran away. And I can't help but feel like that is more than likely the truth. I mean, you know, again, they don't suspect. They even had it going across the interview that Steph just did. They don't suspect foul play. So what other explanation do you have? What more could there be? Let me look at this, pull this up for you. So has anybody else heard about this lady that claims that she is in contact with the Proudfoots? So we go over to Chloe. Now listen, Chloe was part of the whole let's send this to Nina, and she was part of the leaked phone call, and she was part of, web sleuths where they were completely berating Chris and his wife. So she doesn't like them. She doesn't like them. But even here, she says, through all the details I've received and the investigation myself and others continue, I believe he walked away from home. I do not believe he was assisted in doing so. I do believe he may have been struggling with some emotional turmoil in his life. That's a PI that has a lot more than us. A lot more information. She's boots on the ground. She has the skills. She has a lot more than we ever will. And this is what she thinks. So anyway, this lady comes on the scene. I don't know who they are, where they're from, any of that stuff. Let me make sure. All right. But I do, excuse me, I lose my voice. But I do know she's claiming that she's in contact with Chris Proudfoot and has some juicy details to reveal. So let's see.
Well, we have Miss Blue Eyes here, and she has been looking into Sebastian's case very deep in.
I got to speed her up a little bit.
She's also been in contact with the family. So it's going to be very interesting when you hear some of what she has to say.
All right.
You know, and our whole thing here is, where's Sebastian? Where is he? And I don't know if any of you have heard the audio that's being put out. They're trying to slow it down, trying to clear it up a little bit. But there was some interesting words that I heard.
You heard nothing, Lowly. So many people are arguing about that audio, right? When the lady, first off, the lady claims she got it off of one of the Sebastian groups. And with that group, she claims it was by another creator. Now, when people are asking this lady where she got the audio from, she's saying, if you ask me one more time, nobody said that, cats and kittens, that she would block you. She's not going to tell anybody where she got that audio from. But when you listen to her, when she first came out with it, she stated throughout that entire stream more than 5 times that it was attached to the flashlight video. Now that it has come out and been debunked that the flashlight video had no audio, now people are saying it didn't come from the flashlight video. Well, it must have, right? You don't get to change it because you've been you don't get to change it because you were debunked. The guy whose original video, he said there was no audio, right? And now they're trying to switch where it came from. So now their latest thing is it came from a microphone that's hidden in a bush. You gotta be silly to believe that. Absolutely silly to believe that. So anyway, this lady believes the audio, blah, blah, blah.
And I could hear Katie saying, I love you twice at the end.
I love you.
Before she was told, go home.
Oh,
go
no.
home. Go. So heard the word
Fred.
flashlight. It was rather creepy to listen to it. And when you hear those little words, just random out of the blue from this jumbled mess of sound.
Yeah, a jumbled mess of sound, ma'am. Exactly. You don't know what it is.
Hear a conversation actually happening.
Yeah.
And to think of what that could be, it doesn't sound very well. So anyway, y'all check that audio out. I'm going to try to get a copy of it so we can listen to it ourselves. But I'm pretty sure most of you have been over there on Justin's.
All right,
and
tell us about your
we
friend.
went out to people. If you made you sign a sign-in sheet, go out. We met at the rudder. We signed the list to go search because they made you sign a sign-in sheet with your name and phone number, and you took a picture of it so that you would have the numbers to call to people if you found anything. And we handed out thousands of flyers.
She's taking it back, Annie.
We went out and was near the house. And we got to this little, it was like a little barbecue place. And I had texted Chris on Messenger, and I asked him, I said, we are here now and we're trying to figure out what's the best place to search. Now, this is the day that they redid the searches and had the fire department as their command center.
So I want everybody to listen here. This lady's claiming that in the very beginning, she was out helping search, and she messaged Chris and said, where should we search? Now, everybody's claiming that the Proudfoots haven't done anything, right? But this lady's claiming she was in contact.
And he told us, he said, okay, he said, I can tell you where to go. He said, you need to go to Mary's Magical Place because that is where Sebastian liked to go. And he said, and if he wanted to, he could walk there. And so we actually asked a cop while we were talking to him on the phone. We asked a cop to come up.
Now, don't forget, she first said that she messaged him over Messenger. Now she's on the phone with Chris, and she's going to talk to the cop at the same time.
And I asked him, I said, are we allowed to search? And he said, yes, just don't get in the way with all the other ones that was searching. I said, well, we're going to go some other places. Well, Chris told me, he said, it's okay. Tell him who you're on the phone with. And I said, okay. So I told the cop I was on the phone with Christopher Proudfoot. Cop was okay with it and everything. So he took us all directions down to Stop 30 Road. I mean, he directed us all to it by the phone. And he said that Sebastian would have walked that road.
So again, people are saying that they weren't ever searching, but this lady's saying she was being directed where to search by Chris.
Well,
No
being
proof,
barefooted and walking that road, no, I don't see that happening, because I just, with the textures and what they were explaining about Sebastian, I don't think that he could have stood that road. That road was horrible when we were driving down it.
You were driving down it. How do you know what it felt like walking down it, right? Like there, you can't compare driving to walking.
And so we went down to the Mary's Magical Place, sorry. And we looked out there. We put out flyers. We went down on the creek beds, everything.
The only people I think would keep mics in their bushes are people like Betty. Maybe neighbors like Bobby. But I think that means we need to all start checking our bushes to make sure our neighbors don't have hidden microphones in them. It's a bit odd.
And we looked through there. And as I said, we've talked to him several times. And I started talking to him probably on March 27th. And I had asked him just several.
Now, if you all recall, this lady just got done saying this was in the beginning when they redid the search. Now it's March 27th, right? You're funny, Brittany. You're funny.
Things I said, my heart breaks for y'all's family, and I can't imagine the hurt of a missing child. And I said, you said that you would answer all questions, and I watched the interviews and all the others that you and Katie have done. And I said, I'm confused, interviews and all. And I said, heart breaks for y'all's family, and I can't imagine the hurt of a missing child. And I said, you said that you would answer all questions, and I watched the interviews and all the others that you and Katie have done. And I said, I'm confused, because in one interview, I think it said.
Let me pause really quick. Most cameras have mics. Yes. Unfortunately, the footage that gathered, the CCTV footage that gathered the image of the alleged flashlights did not have audio. We can't just make up audio with a footage that doesn't exist. And when the person adamantly comes out and tells you all that it was attached to the 34-second video of the flashlights, until that's debunked, and suddenly now she's switching up where it came from, and it came from a bush, yeah, we have a problem. There's a problem there. And now she's telling people, don't even ask her where she got it from. Right, because you made the shit up.
You were home on the 25th of February and left and went back to Memphis. And I said, is this correct? And he said, no, I got home the 26th, the day that Sebastian was missing, around 1 p.m.ish. He said, I haven't been home since early February. And so we've been talking on and off. My daughter's like, no, we don't talk to him no more. But I can't, because I feel like he was starting to communicate with me. I felt like he was starting to trust me with things that he would talk to me about.
So her daughter's telling her don't speak to him anymore, right? Okay. Hey, malicious. Jason.
And at first I wouldn't believe in my opinion that they were actually guilty of anything because of everything.
I don't, Dee Dee, but I did see you commenting that in AB's. I personally don't. I don't know if anybody else does. She's terrified for her son, clear that they were real tears. Yeah. Yeah, it was disgusting. And Betty's mod is disgusting for posting it.
He was telling me. And I know certain people are on the fence with each one of them and all that. But I can tell you this, me and my daughter didn't get a good opinion of Seth either. But I don't know what to say about Seth right now. I've
You're
gotten
good, Jason.
some weird vibes out of that since all this stuff has been coming out with him and Tony.
I just don't know why people always think like, well, my camera has it. That doesn't mean that every camera has it. Thus, Helen gone away from their home where the mic would pick up anything. And let's not forget, they keep saying a CCTV camera with no audio, correct? Yes. And if we go and we look at the overlay image, there's no way that any camera in any bush is going to catch something from a block away. That's ridiculous. Hey, Scout. Exactly, CBC. Exactly. Tonya, so I'm not the only one that's kind of like, this is weird.
But Chris was seeming to,
where's her
talk
proof?
more and all that stuff. And I told him, I said, I've heard so many horrific stories and I can't imagine living this nightmare. And I asked him, I said, I just have a few questions. I said, because I'm really, there's something going on over here being said. There's this person over here saying this and all.
So would a guilty person speak to a complete stranger? I just don't think they would. If it was ring cam, which it wasn't, it still would not hear a thing from that distance. Right. I don't know why people are so like, I do know why, actually.
People are saying just different things. And I said, was Sebastian's bed messed up when you guys checked in on him to wake him up that morning? And I said, do you think he might be close to your home or farther away from the home? Well, his reaction was, people need a villain for their narratives. It's easy to blame a step parent because of statistics or the parent who last saw their child.
Where's this lady's proof of any of these messages? Like zero proof.
And he says, I think he is farther away than we realize at this point. Anything is possible, honestly.
Because it's been a month.
And so that's when I'd asked him, this is when we was coming up there and all that. And I asked him about if
you already said you were there searching, ma'am. What are you talking about now? This is when we were going to come up there.
There was any places that we could search. He told me to reach out to Sumner County EMA director. And
didn't she just get done saying when she asked Chris if there's any places we should search, he gave her a direct place to go to? Now she's saying he said to contact. I just, the stories don't make sense. All these people that come out here that claim to be like part of the, they have some insider detail or a neighbor or whatever. None of them make any sense. They always contradict themselves. Right. Caught the whispers of the night.
So that's when it all got started. And we were already up there, and he is the one that thinks that Seth is trying to draw all the attention to him and make profits off of them, which I did ask him. I said, so how come y'all haven't started a GoFundMe or put up billboards, or been out there helping with things? He said, we have been searching. We do it on our own time. And he said, it's a little bit hard to do that when you got people threatening you all the time. He said,
right, which makes sense. That makes absolute sense. Hi, Diana. It is hard to do when you got people threatening you and stalking you and following you. Let's not forget, they were literally being followed. Like everywhere they went, there was somebody following them. Everywhere.
Following you around.
We'll give you that. We'll give you that.
I said, the situation with you and Katie, I said, is there a divorce in the future? And he said no, and that they wasn't selling their house.
What kind of stranger asks when a child's missing, is there a divorce in your future? Like, who is this lady? Who are you?
And he said, and Katie would not be speaking to anybody because she is not ready.
Right. Where does she
come
from?
And I said, well, she needs to, because I said, this is why people are getting the assumptions that she's guilty of something. I mean, because if it was my child, I would be screaming to the world. And my babies were grown. And I'm like, I would not stop. I'd stay up 24/7, go hell and high water to find my children. And still to this day, even if they are grown, but they'll always be my babies.
As one of the mods.
And so he told me just to keep reaching out to her. Maybe she would change her mind. And
he just got done saying Katie's not going to be talking to anybody, but then he's telling this lady just to keep reaching out. I mean, come on. Right. Everyone reacts differently. Everybody handles things differently. Yeah. Now, again, this is just somebody talking. There's no proof being shown. There's no anything. There's no nothing. There's not even like a screenshot. There's not proof that she's ever had a phone call, a conversation. We just take her at face value.
And I'd start the conversation with him on the next days and say, hey,
That's
I said,
right,
I was
Mary.
just seeing how y'all were doing. Is there been any new news? And he says, no, there's nothing been anything told to us. It's all the same stuff. And I think that it's weird that they are talking to law enforcement and law enforcement's talking to them, but they're not giving nothing to Seth. And I don't know if it's,
Right.
With my opinion, if it's because Seth has released a lot of stuff that probably shouldn't have been released.
Well, then you know the reason. So this is another person who comes out and claims that she spoke to these people months ago, but now they're just, she's now just sharing all of this. I would love to know if Chris ever spoke to this lady.
And I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's because they are the parents he was with, but I think that all parties should be involved, including Seth.
Thank you.
That is his
everyone.
child too.
Right.
And he told me that Katie was going to be staying with him at first, because I think they did the Nancy Grace, and she had even told them that she was going back with him to stay with him while he goes back to work because she wasn't working at the time and all that. And
Jason.
I asked him about the bus stop and all that in front of the house because I was curious, does he ride the bus? And nobody's ever really said that I've heard. And he said, yes, he has one.
Nobody's ever said if Sebastian rode the bus. Yes, they did. Yes, it was said.
It's in directly in front of our house. Katie sometimes takes him, but don't usually. He usually rides the bus. And he said, but if you're getting vibes off of this one channel that's saying that he went to the bus stop and took a right, that ain't true. Well, how do you know that? You went home.
Oh, no.
So you
how
say.
do you know that?
And I asked him, I said, do you honestly know or can say it in your heart that you don't know where Sebastian is? And he says, trust me, we want him home. We honestly don't know where he is.
Thank you, CBC.
And when he said that, it was just like, okay.
Is that weird? I mean, what kind of answer do you people want? Hey, Kimberly, what kind of answer would you want? Like, that's a very good answer. Like, trust me, we want him home. We want him home. Yes, we're looking for our son. I think so too, Army vet. I mean, we heard Bobby say she was doing JLR a favor, right?
I got a weird feeling.
She got a weird
and me and my daughter went backwards and forth every time about this. And, and I said, I texted him that night, one night on March 31st. I said, Chris, I was wondering about the clothes Sebastian had on when Katie and him left the Texas Roadhouse. I said, are those accounted for? And was he on medication? What kind? And was the meds that he needed every day?
Imagine having a stranger message you and ask you personal details. Like, is there a divorce in your future? What was your son's medications? Where were you at on this date? Like, who are you, Blue Eyes? Who are you?
I said, I hope your Easter has been good considering the situation. Well, he never would answer me.
Well, I wouldn't either.
And so
who do you think you are?
He didn't answer me back till April 2nd. And he said, we are hanging in there.
Well, he's busy.
And that's when the press conference was supposed to start. They were supposed to do, which they said that they didn't have any new information and all that, which he told me it would be played again at 11. So I'm not from Tennessee. I'm actually from North Carolina. So
why are you all up into business?
He said, due to death threats, we're not currently meeting anyone unless they have been vetted by the LE. He said it's for safety reasons. And I don't know why he would just come out and say that, because I didn't offer to do that. So.
But you did. You literally said, where can I come search? And he's telling you, like, we're not going to be meeting up with you. Sorry. We're going to see.
I don't know what he meant by that. And I said, are you and Katie going to be at the press conference? And he said, no, we're not. And I said, okay. So,
is it my mic sounds too low, you're saying? I'm usually a really loud speaker, so I can try to turn myself up if that helps.
So, and I asked him, I said, I just seen the press conference and they said they found glasses. I said, were they Sebastian's and where did they find them? He said, we cannot speak on that. LE will not allow us, which we've all heard that over and over and over.
Right.
I said, okay, I respect that. And I told him, I said, when we do find Sebastian and bring him home, I said, I would love to meet your son.
When we find Sebastian.
And he said, he's my stepson. And he said, and I'll make sure that you get to meet him.
I want proof of this. I want proof of everything this lady's saying. So far, it sounds like BS to me. She's all over the place. It sounds like he stopped communicating with her, if he ever did. And now she's, going to turn on him and say they did all this weird stuff and blah, blah, blah. I just don't believe it. Does anyone know when Katie and Chris moved from Cali to Hendersonville? I don't, but I believe neighbor like Bobby said it was like a year and a half ago, but I have no idea. Your sound is on a different level, lower. All right. I'll try to talk louder. So look, I see Betty's over here crying left and right every day. Right. Like, who are you to ask me if me and my wife plan on having a divorce? That's such a bizarre question. Play her out one more second.
And so I was like, okay. So I went on, and later that night, Chris asked him if there was any news. And I asked him again because I'd heard that they were selling their house. And he said, no, we are not selling the house. He said, that's funny though. I was like, okay. And I said, I had just seen it. And he said, Sebastian's birthday is December 7th. I was like, okay. Just stuff out of the blue that I didn't really ask. And so.
Right. Because what he's telling you there is stop following the BS and worry about Sebastian. No, we're not moving. But do you know Sebastian's birthday is December 7th? Like, are you messaging me to know about Sebastian? Or are you messaging me to get personal details?
I told him, I said, I texted him the next morning. I said, I hope y'all are doing okay. And I said, I hope that there's some positive information out there that on the searches. And he said, thank you so much. Prayers we get some answers soon. And he said, nothing was new. Later on that evening, he texted me and said, nothing new was found and still no leads. Sorry to report. And I said, I hate to hear that.
Right. This is weird.
And he talked about Indian Lake while we was up there.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think this lady's conversation is weird. First off, they have a missing child. The fact that you think they have time to talk to strangers that want to know about gossip, well, that says a lot. Would do a media release. I agree. I wish they would too. I think we need to hear something from professionals. So a lot of you think this is weird. Like, what is she? I think she's reading what she's supposed to say. You think she's another one that was sent in? Sadly, I wouldn't doubt it at this point. A lot of people think this is weird. I'm glad I'm not alone in this. Just something feels off about this. I think we do need a presser for sure. A nosy nobody, another one who paid her to do this.
And I'm not sure. He said it was like 8 miles from their house. I don't know if anybody knows if that place has been searched. Do you know if that has?
I have no idea. I've never heard of Indian Lake. Has anybody? Oh, Smiley said yes. It's been searched, Smiley?
Oh, Smiley's involved.
I hope so.
Because I didn't know. With him saying it was 8 miles from the house.
Okay, she knows about it, but she doesn't know if it's been searched.
Okay, because that's one of the places he told us to go. And we had already went to another lake that we were sent on it was more of a wild goose chase than it was anything because somebody thought it was Chris's truck parked up there, but it wasn't.
So you
because
went to
we
go
even
stalk down Chris?
Snuck up on the truck to get the tag number and all that stuff. So yeah.
They snuck up on a truck and got the tag number. This is so wild. And they're laughing. It's so funny.
I asked him about, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it, Hermitage Hill. Is that right? Does that sound right?
Hill?
Yes.
I have no clue about that one.
I don't either. And I don't know what it was because somebody, I think, said that it was like a home for kids. I don't know what it is.
Do you know about that one? Smiley's from that area.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like you're all just talking out of your butt.
Yeah, it's spelled HERMITAGE Hill.
Okay. So as we all know, because I'm sorry, this lady's getting on my nerves. As we all know, Bullhorn Betty is set to go to Tennessee. And what does Betty do besides stalk JLR? Well, let's check this out. Miss Betty. Baker Act Betty. Sorry, CBC. I don't know what's going on with the audio. So Betty has here, people are willfully, intentionally, and with malice perpetrating and stating, I'm going to protest at St. Jude's. That could not be further from the truth. And people are lying to you for clicks and views. Whoever's telling you this stuff, please don't subscribe from their channel. They're trying to incite their audience. Oh, you guys can't see it. Hold on. Sorry. Betty. Betty's a trip, man. I'll tell you. All right. She wants all of her 44 thumbs up to unsubscribe. If anybody has been watching me for any significant time, I'm now going to a completely different type of situation. When I go to protest, I'm going to protest because I reach out to law enforcement to make sure that they're there for the protests. So you waste law enforcement's time to tell them you're coming to protest. Okay. That has not happened, however. I am working on a protest for Layla case. If anybody has a problem with that, it's their problem to have, not mine. And again, I will be reaching out to whom I need to reach out to when I coordinate the protests. Yes, I do fight for the victims. And if anybody sits at home on their ass and wants to complain about it, can kiss mine. It's funny to me, people love people out in the field, yet they support the communities that condemn the people out in the field, while the people sitting at home collect thousands and thousands of dollars for their drug use. I use mine for victims. What a hell of a statement. What a hell of a statement. They use it for drugs. Okay, Bets. Now we got Betty down here crying, and she was crying during her stream today about this. JLR's group is literally egging on me getting physically assaulted. I tell you what, this is twisted. Your group for people that are missing and injured by violence, and you're perpetrating people and egging people on to commit violence against somebody else. You guys are sick and twisted, and everybody needs to unsub from this group. There goes Betty again, telling people to unsub. JLR's group is for people that were injured by violence. This is twisted, this is sick, and this is going real life. At this point, since they are now physically calling for violence to another person, I want this group to report it for encouraging this stuff. I would be sending Facebook a letter with support and documents by certified mail. This group is about Sebastian Rogers. It's not about people hurt by violence. Right, Steve. Who the hell is Betty to say anything? So this is what the post says. Anyone got a spare ticket to the Clue Bullhorn fighting match coming up? It was a damn joke, Betty. They're not actually buying tickets, you fool. You're the one coming out here all loud and tough and talking shit to Clue, and then you're going to step in her neighborhood? And what did you do? Run and try to get a restraining order? Oh my goodness, this woman's a trip. I'm listening to people in my chat condoning somebody in a true crime group that is supposed to be fighting against violence and crime, promoting violence and crime, and you guys are just fine with it, and you wonder what's wrong with this world. It's you. Somebody wrote, go in real life. That's rich coming from someone who brags about getting people fired from their jobs, who never was even proven guilty of a crime. Shaking my head, Betty. People, you live in glass house. People are funny, Betty. You are funny. Fresh seafood Alfredo. Ugh. So people associated with Chris and Katie Proudfoot are threatening another searcher. I'll be filing a complaint upon arrival in the town against this creator, ABCS, the two parents and representatives. And this creator, the two parents she represents. Bad move. Bullhorn Betty, bring yo ass up here to Tennessee. She is saying Clue is going to assault her, but Clue never said that. She would embrace bets. And this is crazy. I remember when the badge was removed, she lost her shit over it. Every time you click into a Betty stream, she's screaming about JLR. Every single time. Juicy Contour, bed in a bag. Hello, gorgeous. And crown under 60. Score. What? What is your grown ass doing with that crown? Can you lend that to BJ? The Burger King one fell apart. Don't throw good steak bones away. They can be canned or frozen. Is she okay? She's wild. She's trying to get JLR's attention and is failing. She absolutely is. Miss Betty needs positive encouragement to change her injustice behavior. May our Heavenly Father send her a positive spiritual friend to reprove her. Embarrassed, best, not embrace. Spell check. She spells a lot wrong. She even spells Sebastian's name wrong. Of course she's not going to touch her. Betty's just a scared bitch after running her mouth all this time. Now she's worried. Right. For the victims. In her mind, she's a victim of rejection. And if you listen to any one of her streams, she always claims she's not about the drama. She's about the victims. But in every single stream, she brings up drama and JLR. Every single stream. She's out here starting fights with people left and right and then wants to cry victim. Very, very annoying. She is shots. That's what she said. People love boots on the ground, but not when it's me. Betty won't be. Betty, I like it. Betty won't be ignored. I know, Daddy's baby girl. Yeah, is her car running again? Did the people pay to get it fixed? Betty is literally a headache. And she really has nerve. She says, Sebastian Rogers, Chris Proudfoot, the star of the show. You know what's funny? I've had people call out my thumbnails about Seth. Where are you at to call out your friends' thumbnails about Chris? Anyway, how did Chris Proudfoot try to make himself the center when it was actually Seth Rogers that said it's my show? You're a mess, Betty. Anyway, I love these comments, and then we will wrap it up for the day. How dare Tony show his face after what he has done? He's a disgusting person. I feel he is actually being misguided. Crazy that Tony Guy is still around after what looked like exposing himself on a recent TikTok stream. Seth, please get rid of Conman Tony. He has brought nothing but disruption, lies, and deceit. There are so many good people willing to help you. He's a convicted felon and known fraudster. Please, you and your son deserve better. Tony doesn't have the education or experience to do this specialized form of PR. Tony is nothing but a joke. I'd like to know why Ashley didn't ask Seth why he sent C&D letters to a free PI and the person who managed to get 22 billboards. Why would anyone work with Seth and Tony after they have openly trashed Katie and Chris all over social media? The rumors put out the cease and desist sent to people who was looking. Seth, you hurt your relationship with Katie and Chris. Stop with the digs and trash talking. They really turned against them. Well, she's coming, Brittany. She's coming, ma'am. No, this was his first reappearance over on this panel over here. Well, you know, Laura Lulu, let's talk about that. So we all know that a bone was found at the St. Jude's construction site. And right away, these people grasped onto it like it was his, like it was Sebastian's. We know that Betty has been known to plant evidence. I don't even think she'll go. Put a 1 in the chat. Do you think Betty will go? Put a 1 for no and a 2 for yes. Yes, Jean. Do you think Betty will even show up in Tennessee? 1 for no, 2 for yes. I don't think she's going. Right. How's the investigation coming along, Tony? A lot of people don't think she's actually coming. She will go to see Seth? Maybe. No, because she's scared. You're scared, Betty. You're scared. Betty called it remains not one bone. She's such... Oh. I wish Betty would talk with me, but she won't. Oh, 6 cameras with audio. She better not. She's coming. It's like the you got to play the Freddy Krueger song. 1, 2, Betty's coming for you. Technically, the bone was found under cement that was being broken up and removed from a building that was built there in 1970s. Why hasn't she gone already? She's set to go one time and then backed out. I think Betty plans to go out in her car purposely so she could act like she couldn't look things up when she got the news about a bone. Yeah, she'll say she was being threatened. Seth was friends either her, fought with her, and now back friends. BB lady. Who's that, Baton? The BB lady. Well, that woman sounds like BB lady. Betsby Wildland. She changed up the date more than once. She sure has. Her car won't make it. What's with all these professional people, these self-proclaimed search and rescue people, but yet they don't even have running vehicles. They won't face me anymore, Gary. Oh, barbecue? You think that's her? Does that sound like her? I don't really listen to her to know. I know. Isn't that crazy, Jane? It's built over a graveyard. I would love to see them together. Oh, welcome, Tracy. I'm glad you found us. I adore Chasen. As you all know, Chasen's daughter is so weird. Chasen's kids are the same names and ages as my kids. We share same names and ages. But her daughter was brutally attacked by a dog. And she is in really bad condition. And then to top it off, they had to put down her daughter's dog, had to be put to sleep. So if we could throw some prayer hands in the chat for Chasen and her daughter, I'd really appreciate it. They're going through a really hard time right now. I couldn't even imagine her poor daughter's and suffering in so much pain. And then this happens. Thank you, guys. I heard that she is going to the sentencing for what? For whose? Sorry, I missed it. Betty's been looking for a bone for a long time. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. Chasen, if you hear us or see us, know that we are sending prayers your way. We're thinking of you. Hey, Chopper. Telling her undercover plan defeated the purpose. There's no point in that now. She's such a goof. You guys are really so sweet. Thank you. Oh, Trump's trial? Betty would. Thank you, Roses. Thank you guys so much. So what do you guys think, though? What do you think of all of this? Let's wrap this up. What do you think of the interview Seth did over here with Banfield? All right, let's get to Seth on the screen. What do you think of this? I feel like this is a guy on the brink of falling apart. Do people really pay Betty to go to all these places? Listen, you know where I would love to either go to Stephen Stern's trial. I would love to go to that. Thank you, great. Thank you. I don't know how to prayer hands, but I will. Thank you, Jane. Trump would not like Betty. Betty would definitely go to Trump rally before she go look for Sebastian Rogers. That's for sure. He needs to see a mental health doctor. That's how I feel. I feel like this guy's just on the brink. Like, it's actually scary. It's concerning. I feel I'm a little worried for him. He doesn't look good. He looks very concerning. Look how much searching they did. August. You know, she said her mommy cleans up. I couldn't believe that. August is Stephen Stern's. As you guys know, is very passionate about that case. That one. And I still believe Jennifer Soto will be arrested one day. Right. Why didn't she bring up the cease and desist? This was very, and I love how Tony barely got any attention on here. They all look bad. They just look bad. It's concerning how bad they look. So we have this, and then we have the supposed neighbor, or I'm sorry, the supposed lady that had inside information with Chris Proudfoot. And then that interview Katie did, I never saw that until the other day. I am as well. He does not look good. He does not look good. This is sad. I don't know. Dee Dee, welcome. Thank you. I'm afraid he is too, Brittany. I'm a little concerned about it. So I'm going to wrap this up. I will be live on a members only in a little bit. I'll try to give at least an hour heads up to let you all know what time. I did receive some emails pertaining to another creator, and apparently, he says some very unkind things towards an autistic man. I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they're actual, legitimate screenshots. They look like they're legitimate, but we'll have to see together what you all think. You never seen it either, so I'm not alone in that. I can't believe I never saw that. CBC, thank you again. Is it 100% proven he's back to work? Needs health care? No, he's not back to work. Matter of fact, I think it is complete opposite. I think people are saying he's not welcome back to work. 29 months, Roddy. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That is amazing. None of them look well at all. How Seth takes a break before his health is way worse. I agree. Before he does something stupid. Yeah, Andy. Did you see them? Did you guys see it? Anyway, we'll be showing all that. We'll be discussing all that. I'll be discussing some of the emails I've received from people with their theories. If you want to send me your theory of what you think happened to Sebastian, you don't have to put your name. I don't have to read your name, or I can if you like. But I like to think or see what you all think. So I'll be reading some of the emails I received pertaining to that, and then I'll tell you all what I truly think happened. And yeah, we'll just have a more exclusive little members only conversation and take it from there. But I think there's a few things to be talked about here. Yes, casual art. Thank you. He isn't welcome back from what people have said. Has something to do with taking vacation time from others with no intention to return. Ooh. Yes, you'll get the notification. I'll make sure I post it on my wall, put an hour notification, and you'll see it. Chris and Katie around. They do. It's getting ridiculous. Absolutely. Yeah, so if any of you want to go ahead and send me what you think happened, again, if you want it to be anonymous, just tell me that in the email. If not, I can go ahead and state that it came from you. I think he's more sad because Father's Day and his B-Day was today. Well, I think that Seth makes everything about Seth. I do think he needs counseling. Should as well. They should all get counseling. I can't imagine what this does to all of them. I agree, Lovey. Hey, Willow. Yes, Gary. Hell has frozen over. I never read emails. But no, I've received some interesting theories that I think you would all like to hear as well. And, just have a go down the rabbit hole type of stream, if you will, right? Like, let's just see what all the different people think. I know a lot of people aren't too comfortable coming up on panels and speaking. And so, we can do it this way and get it all out and just have a smaller conversation. I think so too, Running Bear. Yes, Gene. I'd be willing to bet it isn't abnormal for Seth not to see Sebastian on his birthday. I agree. Seth, yeah, so he's there instead of searching. Are you not coming back on for members only to give your thoughts? I am. Peace. Chris and Katie are getting counseling. Good. They need it. The whole family needs it. I just, I couldn't imagine. Anyway, if you haven't, please hit the thumbs up on the way out. And yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I have a time frame picked out, and we'll take it from there. Yay, Annie, I'm glad you are. I figured I owe you all one. Seth is a classic narcissist. If they can hurt in a certain way, they collapse and may never recover. Truth and fact. Did you, Gary? Sorry. Of course, the prophets are. They're good people, following what Ali says. We'll see. Yes, thank you all for being here. And I'll see you all in a little bit. How come some channels never ships appear by the super chat, but not everyone? How come some channels never ships appear by the super chat, but not everyone? Drives me nuts on the iPhone. I can become a member and give memberships on some channels, but yours is one that doesn't. I don't know. I had somebody else say that to me too. I don't know if it's something I have to click, if it's something that just happens. I can drop a membership link and see if that helps, but I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. Let's see if we can do this right quick. I don't think Betty's going to go to Tennessee. I hate the division that's happened. Truly think they should have been able to comfort and heal together. Instead, they forever divided. I feel like they were divided prior, if you ask me. I feel like the division took place a long time ago, and it just kind of collapsed before the public. It's all in the settings, so I do have to fix it. Okay. I will check it out. All right, guys. I will see you all back here shortly. Bye, Gary. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. You as well, Andy. Oh, that's right. Let me do that really quick. Hey, Be Good. Hold on. Let me see how I can gift free memberships. I forget. Give me a second to figure this out. Mute myself, and let's see. Oh, that's not it. Oh, I got 10 memberships left to gift this month. Let's gift them. I got, yep, that dude, Jason, Julie R. All good people. Yay. And Lovey. That's so cool. I think there's a few more. And let's see. We've got Daddy's Baby Girl. C. Nikki. Jane. Oh, no. Kitty Catty. Looking Beyond. And CBC. Yay. Awesome. So I hope to see you all later at the members only. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. I hope you have a great day and see you back here shortly.